I've watched so many people install Odysseus, poke at it for 10 minutes and then walk away convinced it's overhyped. Almost every single time it's not the tool that failed them, it's that they walked into it making the same mistakes that wreck the whole experience. The best part is that every one of these is avoidable in about 30 seconds once you know it's coming. So that's what I'll be covering in this video. I'll be going over the mistakes that make Odysseus feel broken or underwhelming when it isn't. And of course, towards the end, I'll be showing you exactly what to do instead. Get these right and the tool transforms, becoming one of the core workspaces that you use in your everyday life. So let's go ahead and get started. The first mistake, and by far the most popular one, is expecting a 1-month-old tool to be perfectly polished. Here is the thing that nobody tells you going in, even though it's kind of obvious: Odysseus is new. I'm talking a few weeks old. It blew up fast and it's genuinely impressive. But it's not a decade-polished commercial product and people walk in expecting it to behave like one. That expectation is the mistake because the moment you hit a rough edge, you assume the whole thing is broken instead of just new. Now let me give you the two that catch people fast and the solutions to them. The first one is that when you set it up, a lot of people sit there waiting for it to hand them a username and a password. But instead, Odysseus generates a temporary admin password and prints it in the command prompt. So if you're locked out wondering where your login is, you're not stuck, you just need to go read it out of the terminal. You open your command prompt, you paste this line right here, copy it, log in, and then change it in your settings so you're not digging through logs forever. The second one, and this one really makes people think it died, is that you close Docker, you shut down your PC, and then you come back the next day, reopen Docker, and Odysseus just won't start. It looks completely dead. For most of the time, you just need to open the command prompt and run the rebuild command. You wait a few seconds and it's back. I run into this quite often myself and it is annoying, yes, but it's just a few seconds and not a disaster. And it's the kind of rough edge that you get with software that's new. So the real fix here is the mindset one. You go in knowing it's young, and when you hit a quirk, your first thought shouldn't be this is broken, it should be okay, what's the quick fix? Because there almost always is one. It's constantly getting updated and you can see PewDiePie approving pull requests and adding new things all the time. You should be running backups of this whenever you want to update your Odysseus, but just know that a lot of the bugs are being fixed, and honestly, even as is, it's more than usable. Now the second mistake, and it is a big one, it is forgetting that Odysseus is not the brain. Most people open it, ask it something, get a weak answer, and then blame Odysseus. But Odysseus is not the thing answering you. The model you plug into it is the actual brain, and it's what decides the quality of the answer. Odysseus is simply the workspace giving you access to a bunch of tools that work in conjunction to each other. You get all of these things communicating together in one tab instead of subscribing to different tools, constantly getting distracted and copying and pasting commands all over the place. So if you connected some tiny local model in a basic laptop, of course it will feel weak. And that is not Odysseus's fault. Now I have made a full tutorial on how you can pick the best model based on your hardware or the cloud models that you can use with them, so if you would like to check that out, go ahead and do that. But in essence, the smart move is a small stack. You get a general model for chat, a coding model for code, a reasoning one for complex tasks or heavy thinking, and a strong cloud model on standby for when you need maximum quality. Odysseus allows you to switch between these models depending on the job right inside the workspace. So that single shift from find the one perfect model to use the right brain for the right job is what takes Odysseus from feeling dumb to feeling amazing. So before you ever judge it, check what brain you actually gave it. But even the best model won't save you from the next mistake because most people are running it inside a completely empty shell. And that takes us to mistake number 3, which is using Odysseus while it's completely empty. A lot of people open a brand new install with no notes, no documents, no memory or connected tools, and then wonder why it doesn't feel as magical as ChatGPT right out of the box. ChatGPT feels useful instantly because the cloud model carries the whole thing. Odysseus is different. Its power comes from the workspace that you build around the model, and an empty workspace has nothing to work with yet. So fix it on day 1. Add a decent model, write one note about what you're working on and how you like your answers, and then drop in documents or research topics. Connect your calendar if you want it in and seed the memory with your context. It should take about a few minutes to an hour, and the entire difference between a dead shell and a workspace that actually knows you. So if you use Odysseus empty, you are judging a workspace before you've put any work inside it. Give it something to work with first, and when you do start adding models, don't make the mistake coming up. Mistake number 4 is downloading models blindly and cooking your laptop. When people finally go to add a local model, a ton of them grab the biggest, smartest sounding one that they can find online. and then their laptop chokes and the model crawls out one word at a time and they decide local AI is useless. The model was just way too big for your machine. That's why Odysseus has a feature called Cookbook built exactly to prevent this, and I highly recommend that you start using it immediately. It looks at your hardware and recommends models that will actually run well based on your setup. Even if you would rather install models yourself through Olama, which I have explained in detail in previous videos, Cookbook drills in the right instinct. You match the model to your machine, start small, test one model at a time, see how it runs, and then size up only if your hardware can handle it. So definitely don't download 5 different models at once, just pull one, get it working, and then expand if needed. This one habit alone saves people from turning their laptop into a space heater. The 5th mistake I'm going over in this video is expecting local AI to be ChatGPT at everything. If you install a local model expecting it to crush ChatGPT, you might feel let down. But that was never what local models are actually for, at least not at the moment. Local models win on privacy, 0 per message cost, and ownership. They do not win on raw horsepower just yet. They are constantly evolving and we might reach that at some point, but cloud models will still win on maximum quality, speed, and the genuinely hard stuff. So stop treating it as either or and go hybrid. Run local for your private and everyday work, notes, documents, emails, calendar planning, all of these things that you repeat. And then switch to a cloud, stronger model for the heavy lifting. If you need hard reasoning, serious coding, long context research, final polish, anything where quality matters to you a lot more than privacy. Don't completely rely on local AI for everything, use the right brain for the right job. And speaking of the right brains, the 6th mistake is thinking local model means everything is private. Many people think self-hosted means fully private. They self-host something like Odysseus or OpenClaw and assume everything they do now is completely private. That's not exactly how it works, and this matters. A local model only means that the model processing stays on your machine. But the moment your workflow uses web search, email sync, calendar sync, or any cloud API, those services are touching your data. And if you select a cloud model, your prompt goes straight to that provider. Privacy depends on the whole workflow, not one setting. So before anything sensitive, you want to run a quick gut check. Which model is selected, local or cloud? Which tools are on? Is anything reaching out to the web, your email, or an outside API? Are you okay with that? Local model selected means that the model is local. It doesn't mean that every connected service magically disappears. Keep that straight, especially as you start turning on the more powerful features, which is exactly where the next mistake is. And that's mistake number 7, turning on powerful tools without respecting them. People forget they have stopped using a chatbot and started running software that can take real actions on their machine and files. Odysseus has agents that can use tools, touch files, run commands, and browse the web. That's real power, and a lot of people get hurt here. You want to treat it like an admin console, not a toy. Keep authentication on, don't expose it to the public internet. Never point the agent at sensitive folders right away, give it a test folder first. I always use demo accounts when using Hermes, Odysseus, or OpenClaw, and especially when I connect my email and calendar. Keep the approval prompts on for anything that sends, deletes, or runs commands. And never ever leave a password or API key sitting visible in a chat, a screenshot, or a screen recording. If any of them does ever show, rotate it immediately. The power that makes AI agents great is the same power that bites people who rush. Many people lost their files, got them permanently deleted, sent some random emails that they did not mean to, and lost credibility, and this can seriously damage your reputation if you start letting the AI agent send emails and create profiles on your behalf, or accidentally expose sensitive information that you never meant to get leaked. Respect it and it becomes a real asset. The next mistake I'm going to cover is running the agent on a weak model and guessing which is best instead of testing. If you run your agent on a tiny model, it falls apart on a multi-step task and they decide the agent feature is broken. It's not broken, the model just couldn't drive it. Agentic work needs reliable tool calling, which is a totally separate skill from writing a good answer. A model can chat perfectly well and still fumble the tool calls, which will break the whole task. Tiny models are especially bad at it, so for agent work you want to use a stronger, more reliable model. For example, Quinn-style models are a solid local baseline for tool use, and for serious agentic tasks you may want a cloud model similar to Anthropic's for example. Start with simple jobs, enable only the tools that you actually need, and test it on safe workflows before you trust it with anything real. Chat quality and agent reliability are not the same skill, so don't write off the agent because of a model that was never going to run it properly. And honestly, this whole which model is right problem has a built-in solution that most people ignore, which is what takes us to guessing which model is best instead of testing. A lot of people just Google which model is best and just trust whatever they are told. But the models are constantly evolving, getting updated, and new ones are emerging every single day. Also, as I explained in my latest video for the best local models, the best model for someone else's machine and tasks can be completely wrong for yours. To cut the story short, Odysseus has compare mode built in for exactly that. You select a bunch of different models however you want and then send the same prompt to all of them at once and see the answers side by side. You can also blind the actual name so you are judging on quality and not the name on the box. Run a few tests using your own actual work, a summary test, a coding one, and a reasoning test for example, and then judge them on what really matters. Usefulness, speed, quality of the answer, whether it followed instructions, the formatting, and honestly whether you would use it day to day or not. The best model out there is not the one that the internet likes, it's the one that works for your machine and your tasks. And then once you've got the right brains dialed in for the specific jobs, there's one final move that makes everything click. And that is the final mistake, which is never building a single workflow. That is the one that unlocks all of them and makes Odysseus really click. Most people only ever fire off random one-off chats, but Odysseus was never built to be a chat box. It's built to chain things together, and that's the exact moment it stops feeling like a worse ChatGPT. Try one simple workflow and you will feel the shift. Research a specific topic you're interested in, turn the result into a document and then pull it into a chat. Ask the agent to turn it into notes, set a task to follow up, and let the memory hold your context the whole way through. One real example of this is that you can ask the agent to look at your calendar this week, summarize what's coming up, research a topic that you care about, potentially in your calendar or your emails, turn it into notes and draft a document on it. That's not 5 different tools that you're using, it's one connected flow in a single window that you're executing all in one working session. That's exactly the moment Odysseus stops feeling underwhelming and finally feels like the workspace that it actually is. So to wrap things up, for the mistakes, here is everything in one checklist. You go in expecting young software, not a flawless product. You remember Odysseus is the workspace, the model is the brain. Never run it empty, give it context, match the model to your hardware, don't download blindly, use local for private everyday work, and the rest of the mistakes as you can see. The most important one from what I can tell you is to build one real workflow and then match the actual brain to the tasks that you're choosing. So if Odysseus felt underwhelming when you first tried it, don't write it off, almost everyone makes the same core mistakes, and hopefully this video has helped you fix all of them. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this kind of content, make sure to let me know by subscribing to the YouTube channel. I'll be making some full tutorials and deep dives into Odysseus and other AI tools soon enough. You certainly don't want to miss out on those. If you found this video helpful or informative to watch, give it a thumbs up and leave any comments you've got down below. Thank you once again for watching and see you guys in the next video.